So I was raised in a household of competitive bodybuilders. So when I was 6 years old, I was in Gold's gym, you know, playing with my toys, you know, while my mom was working out, and she was competing at the time, you know. And so I was kind of raised in the environment, you know.
So cool.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So the funny thing is I was 6, 7, 8 years old, and I was playing with He-Man dolls. Remember the He-Man dolls?
Yeah.
And I was playing with them, and they were fighting, and something happened. I looked up around the gym and realized that there's actually real superheroes walking around the gym that look just like the little dolls I'm playing with. So I became very intrigued, you know, with these big muscle guys. And so I began watching people, watching what they're doing. So obviously, you know, at a very early age, it was already in my head. So by 11, I was working out, you know. Then by 15, I was on stage, and I was hooked. You know, from 15, as a teenager, I competed in about 15 different shows, you know. And I started taking steroids at 18. But I had already competed in numerous bodybuilding contests.
Been exercising for many years.
Right. Not saying that that justifies it. I believe that still is too early of an age to do that. But for me, you know, that's what I chose. The crazy thing is before taking the steroids, I had never won a contest. I kept getting second, third, second, fourth, second, third, and it was driving me out of my mind. And I showed up at this one contest, and every teenager, to my knowledge and my opinion, was on steroids, and I was not. I believe that just destroyed me, because I worked so hard for all those years, and I showed up, and these guys looked better than me, and I knew why. I knew that if I had done the same, I would be better than them. But I wasn't, because I didn't have that help.
People, I think a lot of teenagers begin taking them way too early.
Right.
Without developing to the full potential.
Right.
What is your main recommendation in terms of like listening to yourself?
Yeah, you know, we always, as we become older, we always think about, you know, if I only knew this back then, you know, and that's a scenario, is that, you know, our testosterone levels start to peak like between 16 and 22. So, you know, at the age of 18, my testosterone levels were very high. So for me to put synthetic testosterone in my body, what I was doing is I was shutting down my natural testosterone levels, which were very high at the time. So that completely makes no sense at all, because my testosterone levels are the highest they're ever going to be naturally. So I should take full advantage of that. You know, so, you know, the worst thing I could have did is started taking steroids at 18. You know, I should have waited until I was at least, you know, preferably even 24, 25. You know, the whole goal is to get as much as you can, you know, with as very little possible. So you want to get as much as you can out of being natural. You know, stay natural as long as you can, get the most benefit you can, and then you bring in the artificial, you know, because a lot of the top bodybuilders, when they get off the steroids, they shrink down to nothing. They lose almost everything they have. So if you never had that natural foundation, then everything you built is artificial, and when you stop, you're going to go all the way back down to where you were naturally. So, you know, I believe that if a guy gets up to 220 naturally, then takes up, he's always going to have that 220-pound foundation.
That's like his forever.
Right. It's real. It's real, and he worked, and it's all real. You know?
How big were you at 18?
I was
just the range.
I was at 18. I was probably 205.
205.
Maybe
with the same height.
Yeah, but you know, it's decent size. You know, for an 18-year-old,
that's pretty good.
You know, and you know, and I blew up to, you know, 230 in no time. And I think when I was competing after taking the steroids, I was competing around 230.
Сразу обратите внимание, насколько высоко Рич Piana опускает штангу. То есть это даже не верх груди, а штанга опускается на шею, ее край касается подбородка. Я никогда раньше не видел подобной техники выполнения жима лежа на наклонной скамье. И в предстоящем подходе попробую повторить эту технику.
My theory is that wherever the bar is where you're building. bring the bar here, you're hitting there. Bring the bar here, bring the bar here. Same with back. You're doing rows. If you bring the bar here, you're working here. You bring it here, you're working here. Right? So that's kind of how I envision it.
If you bring it here, and then from lower, it's lower back.
Right. So that's a real easy gauge, you know, and the hardest part of the chest build is the very, very top. You know, I don't think anyone's happy with their chest development up here. If I can still breathe, then my chest isn't big enough. Same thing with grip. The wider the grip, the wider outside the chest. Closer, the more inner. I keep a narrow grip because I am always trying to work the middle. Good. Squeeze. Big squeeze at the top. Get that contraction and squeeze at the top. Very important.
Ну вот я и пытаюсь сейчас повторить ту самую технику с опусканием грифа практически на шею. Первое и самое главное, что я почувствовал, это сильнейшее растяжение в дельтовидных мышцах, либо в плечевом суставе как таковом, то есть очень непривычно. В моей привычной технике локти были ниже, и гриф опускался сантиметров, наверное, на 5-7 ниже по грудной клетке.
You'll be sore different.
Yeah, the lower elbows lower. I noticed when I was lowering it here, elbows were lower too. Just different arm position.
Right. Yeah.
This is new. Concerning bench presses. Yeah, concerning bench presses. Incline, flat bench, doesn't matter. Should people do pyramid or just stay the same weight? What would be the major difference in your opinion?
You know, like what I like to tell people, the most important thing is to constantly mix it up. So I like to say that there is no right and wrong way. It's always doing things different. So both ways are right. But if I had to choose, I would say pyramid and upper weight is always good because the lighter weight, you're going to get a really good pump. Then as you get heavier, you're going to keep that pump. You know, and a lot of people that stick to heavy weight, if they're only doing 6 to 8 reps, they're not getting that crazy pump. It's not enough reps to get that pump. So you do 20 reps, and then you go do 6, you're going to keep that crazy pump. So I think those light sets at the beginning are very important.
Еще, ребят, на что хочу обратить ваше внимание, на то, что Рич использует хват без больших пальцев. Я тренируюсь уже 29 лет, я никогда не жал без использования больших пальцев. Я попробовал на этой тренировке сжать подобным образом, но мне это не очень удобно, непривычно и как-то не чувствуется контроля над штангой. Продолжу по ощущениям техники. Крайне трудно в нижней точке здесь было, хотя второй подход пошел легче. По крайней мере, с этим весом уже растянулись, видимо, связки в плечевом суставе. И было проще сфокусироваться уже на работающие мышцы, а не на связках. Но поначалу, конечно, опускание на шею больше ощущалось на связках, нежели на мышцах.
Putting mind into it.
Right.
Знаете, ребят, что прикольно в технике Рича? И вообще наблюдать за тем, как он поднимает штанги. Великолепный контроль. Абсолютный, не знаю, насколько это передает видео, но в жизни это абсолютный контроль над весом. Паузы в крайних точках. То есть видно, что человек не занимается тем, что поднимает предмет из точки А в точку Б, а человек тренирует мышцы в этот момент, и вся его концентрация направлена именно на работу мышцы по всей амплитуде. Вес абсолютно вторичен, мышца первична. Моя техника в жиме, на мой взгляд, достаточно чистая, обычная. Но в данном случае я попытался еще больше акцентировать внимание на крайних точках. В нижней точке растянуться, остановиться, не расслабляться. И в верхней точке я пытался донапрягать грудные мышцы, что очень непривычно и довольно сложно. То есть в верхней точке я пытался как будто бы сплющить гриф между рук. Этого невозможно увидеть визуально, но я пытался руки толкать навстречу друг другу, чтобы достичь пикового сокращения и в верхней точке.
Making every rep count.
That's the most important thing.
Yeah, every rep. I was just perceiving every rep as separate.
Right. Here's an example I'm going to give of the male ego. You look around the gym and you want to see who watched your set?
Yeah.
Everyone want to see that? Everyone see how easy I did that? All right, throw another plate on. 315. So that's our example of the biggest mistake you can make. Let the ego get in the way. And as you can see the difference, you know, one is productive, one is counterproductive. Now I'm not going to say it's counterproductive. You're still working the chest, you're still building muscle, you're still getting stronger. But on a scale of 1 to 10, I give that a 3, as opposed to the first set, I give it 10. Big squeeze, stretch, squeeze. Good, perfect form, perfect form. Squeeze. Yeah. Perfect. Awesome. Perfect. How's that fun?